Welcome back to the 2025 Tarawera Trailgating. We are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the Ultra Runner of the Year in 2024, number 2 in Trail Runner of the Year, Mr. Hayden Hawks, back here in New Zealand for how many times have you been here to Tarawera?
Second time here, but we spend a lot of time in New Zealand, so we love it here. It's a second home to us, and happy to be back.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, this seems to be like your winter destination, kind of chasing summer. How's it having the whole family over? That seems awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I'm not much of a winter guy, to be completely honest with you. I've tried skiing, and I just don't like it. I get way too cold, and I'm just like, I'm going to go to New Zealand during the summer, have a good time. It's a great way to get fit, have some fun with the family. We've been having an awesome time down here. We're just like embracing the Kiwi lifestyle, walking around barefoot everywhere and eating a bunch of kina. If you don't know what kina is, it's sea urchin. It's not the best. Don't try it. But Dan made me try it. But anyways, no, we've just been having a great time. The kids love it. They're thriving, and we're living another summer.
Heck yeah, buddy. So backing up a step to where we just started last year, incredible season for you. Probably considered one of, if not your best season ever. So just to recap for the listeners, win course record at Black Canyon, 3rd place at Western States, running the 4th fastest time ever. Your 2nd win at CCC, absolutely dominant performance. Talk about last season and sort of how you're thinking about that, how you carry the momentum forward and keep building on what you did last year.
Yeah, it's actually pretty exciting because I wasn't expecting much last year. I was just kind of hoping that would be more of a build back year, coming off of my surgery, trying to get my health back. I was kind of I'm just going to use this year to really try and focus on getting as healthy as possible, building just really good fitness. And the thought was 25 and 26 would be my best years. So I'm actually looking forward to 25 and 26 building off of 24 because it went better than I thought it was going to go.
That's honestly kind of scary. It was that was not 100% Hayden. That's a little bit maybe intimidating for those listening looking ahead at this season.
But to be honest with you, maybe not 100% Hayden is the best Hayden, because I think 100% Hayden sometimes gets too dialed and too focused and lose track of what's most important. Mm-hmm. And that is the experiences I'm having with my friends and family, the fun I'm having, the joy I'm having, the joy of running, the joy of ultra running, the joy of this amazing sport got brought back to me last year. And that's what was so special about last year. And so I'm trying to keep that same attitude and that same mindset going into this year. It's I want to just continue to have fun and enjoy and do what I want to do, and not too much, put too much pressure on myself, because whenever I put too much pressure on myself, it's never a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing for anybody, but I hope I can build on the momentum and have some good years to come.
It's interesting because you saying that you don't want to put a lot of pressure on yourself. We all know you to be the consummate competitor. Mm-hmm. And maybe an expression of this, not putting a ton of pressure on yourself. You're the only person we're interviewing who's not doing the 100K, for example. Of course, our focus is going to be in terms of our coverage on the 100K this week. And I'm sure part of you wishes you were sort of going to battle in the golden ticket event. So maybe talk a little bit about why the 50K is the right way for you to start this year, both in terms of where your fitness is at and also where your psychology's at.
Yeah, I was talking to my coach, Robbie Britton, about this yesterday, actually. And just it's been such a good build because we wanted to kind of work into this year and have this 50K. I'm doing only 50Ks this spring, actually. I'm not going to be doing any 100Ks, and just use them more as part of the training to build some speed, to get, some fun race experiences in, but just kind of be able to not have to take big breaks from recovering from 100K. And just kind of build each block after another, because my focus is Western States the end of June. My focus is UTMB the end of August. Of course, I want to do well in these early season races, but these aren't everything to me. I want to be ready when it really, truly matters, and that's the end of June and that's the end of August. And I will be ready, at those races. I promise you that. But it's just being smart early on and just making sure that I am kind of building each, step as they go, and just kind of have those stepping stones along the way.
I guess talk about, it's not a privilege because you had to earn it, but the privilege of not having to run a golden ticket race early in the season, because that was the path last year with Black Canyon, needing to get back into Western States. It's a path for many, many people that will be joining you on the line in June. So tell us a little bit about what that, I mean, it sounds like it allows you to do a bunch of 50Ks, but mentally too, it's a little bit different looking ahead. So talk to us about not needing to golden ticket chase hunt right now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm very fortunate, very happy that I don't have to do that. I think it's very difficult to have to get into like peak shape this early on in the year. And, kudos to those that did. Seth Ruling, kudos to that dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he had an incredible performance last week. Shout out to you, Seth, a good friend of mine. But yeah, anyways, I just feel like also this allows me to be able to do the double. Not having to chase a golden ticket early allows me to do the double because I don't have to run 100K early on.
Yeah.
And I can kind of set up my season exactly how I want to. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. And honestly, I'm just having so much fun. Like being down here in New Zealand, like me and Dan have had an incredible block of training. We've been able to go out spearfishing and diving and just like have an incredible time down here. And that's really what I'm focused on right now.
All right, so building off of that, we just had Dan in studio here. We talked a little bit about you guys' friendship and your training. I reminded him about how after the 2023 Tarawera, when he won and you finished second, that you reached out to me and said, hey, you got to get Dan on the podcast. You guys share a really special friendship. You obviously, were singing his praises when you came into the studio here about his prospects in the 100K. So just, tying this back to our conversation with Dan, if you want to share a little bit more about your guys' relationship, how training has been going together, how you guys lift each other up.
Yeah, the boy is fit. He'll tell you like, I'm not that fit. Dude, he is so fit. Like when I came down here, I was just trying to keep up with him in workouts, and he's actually gotten me fit enough to be able to be ready for this weekend. But like, and I feel like the fitness has come around for me, but like initially I was like, holy smokes, like I can't even keep up with this guy. And yeah, he's such a hard worker, man. Like honestly, I thought I was a hard worker. Dan is next level on how hard that guy works and how intentional he is about everything. Like he inspires me. Like honestly, I go out there and I train with him and he makes me better. And he's a good friend. He's a great person. He's super like reliable and like just a good person. Yeah. And that's why I want to spend my time with people like that, right? And me and him have just connected, not just over running, but a lot of other interests in life. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see what he does out there. I think I made a post the other day that said like the only three-peat that I'm, concerned about, kind of talking about the Chiefs and all. But yeah, Dan's going for the three-peat here, and I would love to see him get it.
It's also
Corinne mentioned that he's got similar hair to Patrick Mahomes too.
Yeah, he does. He's got that. I was like, oh, the hair is looking fit.
That's a Kiwi thing, man. Like me and him joke about that all the time. I'm like, dude, it's got to be that limited gene pool in New Zealand. All the Kiwi men have the same hair. But no, it's funny. We always banter with each other and have a good time.
Yeah, it's also cool though too because I mean I think you were criticized for this a little bit last year, and I think unfairly said like you guys are all competitors. But it's really it's special to get to watch you all, like the two of you, work together in training, in practice, and getting ready for events, and then go like literally take each other to the wood chipper during the race. And you guys finished in 3rd and 4th at Western States last year. You guys will both be lining. Neither one of you needed to fight for a golden ticket to get back in this year. You'll both be lining back up at Western States. Just talk a little bit about, I don't know, like making that trip in June together. I'm sure he'll come over for a little bit of a training camp ahead of it. Like, what does that mean to you when it comes to sharing part of that experience?
Yeah, I know I was, criticized for that last year, like not having friends type thing. But to be completely honest with you, I'm the first person that will be out there to help anybody. Yeah. If they call me. Like that's the type of person I am. That's who I grew up. That's how my dad raised me. I will be the first person to be there when anybody needs me. But on race day, this is a race. This is a competition. Like I expect my competitors to be as competitive as I am because that's what makes us better. That's what makes us to be able to like reach new limits and just be able to like give a good show. Yeah. Like we're athletes, right? We work so hard for this. And like, I want to like go out there and push. And I hope that my competitors will do the same. So yeah, maybe like we're not going to be best friends on race day. I'm still going to help people on race day. I mean, we did a lot. Me and Dan ran a lot together at Western States last year. Yeah. Yeah. But it was like, Yeah, it's very special. Like, it's not just with Dan. Like, I have a really good relationship with Rod Farvard, with Seth Ruling, who I just mentioned, like a lot of runners out there. And
Peterman after CCC.
Peterman, exactly. Like, we have such good people in this sport.
Yeah.
And like, I just love being around these guys. Like, I love training with them. Like, when it's all said and done, I'm not going to remember the wins. I'm not going to remember the course records. I'm going to remember those special moments I had with my friends. And that's like what means the most to me in this sport.
Yeah, not a question, but just like a little add-on to that is Dan mentioned that I think it was maybe after he beat you here, you reached back out to him and you were like, yo, man, like you got the best, like you got the best out of me.
He said you didn't make excuses.
Yeah, you didn't make excuses. And it gave him a lot of confidence too to be like, like we did. We got the best out of each other and like I came out on top on that day. And I just think that is like so quintessentially like important and authentic in like the trail and ultra running world. So
he worked me that day. Let's just be honest with you. He worked me. I watched him run away from me and I was like, whoa. I mean, it was literally like, it was magical, man. It was like artwork. I was like, holy smokes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I just appreciate like the no excuses. You're like, yeah, like I put in as much as I could and this person put in more. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah. So cool. So cool. So, of course, 50K on Saturday. It's sort of a stepping stone approach to the big races that you have planned this summer. Western States, UTMB, the two biggest races unequivocally in the entire world. I remember after CCC last year, you made the comment to me of like, you weren't sure, like you didn't feel the personal pressure to step up to UTMB. So obviously your mind has changed since then. How are you thinking about the double?
I've just thought about it a lot, and I had some conversations with my mentors, with my wife, with my coach, and I was like, what more can I accomplish at CCC? Like, I don't feel like there's much more to do there, and it just doesn't inspire me to go back. And I was like, now's the time to go get experience at UTMB. Like, I don't know what to expect. Like, I don't know how I'm going to feel after the double. I might blow up. You never know. Like, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to do the best I can to prepare. But at the same time, like, I'm going into with no pressure, like going into as like an experiential thing to like, let's gain as much experience as possible so I can win this someday.
Yeah.
Because I think it takes time.
Like, why not you?
And you never know. Like, I could have a great day, a magical day out there. I could win it. Like, there's always that chance. But it's like, I want to gain experience because I do want to win that race someday. And why not now? And so that was my thought with it. And it inspires me. Like, for the longest time, I've been scared of it. Mm-hmm. And I just wasn't really inspired by it. But to be honest with you, I am so excited to run UTMB. And that's how I knew now's the time, because I'm excited to do it.
Yeah, that's just a lot of respect, I think, for that race and that distance too, which is, I think, very important when it comes to executing out there. I'd like to talk a little bit, because Dylan and I are already way too excited about Western States. So we'd like to talk about Western States for a small, while we have a captive audience. Yeah. The field is setting up to be one for the ages, right? Like, I mean, is that exciting? Is that exhilarating? Like, what would it mean to put together the perfect day in that field? Or add on?
Maybe before you start that, because I think it's really important to say this, like, you could think of it in two different ways, right? It could be extremely intimidating to be lining up in what will likely be the most competitive Western States ever. Or it could be the opposite of like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. And, I have as good a shot as anybody to win, right?
I don't know if I've really looked at it that way anyway, because I've raced every guy that's supposedly going to be in the field. We don't know everybody yet, but like, it's always competitive. Like, and I'm going to prepare the same way I would any other year. Like, it's the course itself that's the most challenging thing. It's the heat. It's those type of things. And I can only run my own race. And if that's, if I'm capable of winning the race by running my own race, then that's just what it is, right? Like, just because Killian's in there or Jim's in there, whoever's in there, I'm not going to run their race. And so, like, I'm going to focus on running my own race, preparing how I need to prepare. And if that's good enough to win, great. If it's not, I can't control that.
But for the couple of months leading into the race, is it bulletin board material for you? Is it something that keeps you super motivated and inspired?
It motivates me, but like, I'm not going to like do this crazy amount of miles or try and change anything, right? Because like, it's just what it is. Like, Dan's actually going to come out again. We're going to have like a 6-week training block before Western States in Utah. We'll go to the Western States camp.
We
do what
gotta
we did
go make a
last
video.
year. So yeah, we did the same thing last year, and we're just gonna mimic what we did because it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was only a few weeks away from having like one of those incredible performances
Yeah.
last year. I feel like my fitness was almost there, but it wasn't quite because of some injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
I just needed like 3 or 4 more weeks, and I think I could have challenged Jim, and I honestly think I can challenge anybody that lines up this year.
I mean, you got really close to Rod at the finish there.
Yeah.
We were pretty convinced that you had it at that point.
was
So.
But I'm excited. Yeah, like to hype it up, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be a cool race. It's going to be an awesome race. I've always said I want to be in the most competitive races. And yeah, like Western States, UTMB are the most competitive races, and that's what I'm preparing for.
Step by step, starting on Saturday. Maybe last
Yeah.
question. Last question for me, and Corinne, you can feel free to throw anything else in. But you mentioned Seth a little earlier, so I can't resist the temptation to just have you comment on the Black Canyon race last weekend to the extent you paid attention to it. Obviously, you were the 2024 champion. Your record was beaten by about 5 minutes. So you could comment on that specifically or more generally about just like the state of the sport right now and like how the level continues to rise and continuing to rise to that,
It's
that
an-
new standard.
Super exciting to watch. I mean, I was watching the stream the whole time here in New Zealand, and yeah, I mean, it was like, of course, the Super Bowl was pretty boring. It was a complete blowout. So like, definitely I was watching Black Canyon, but no, we had we had a little watch party here, and it's really cool to see like records get broken.
Yeah.
Because I had so many people message me after like, "Are you upset that your record got broken?" I'm like, "No, I've never cared about course records,
Yeah.
right? Like, I want to see records get broken, and records are going to continue to get broken. Like, it's so cool to see Seth, break my record." And I reached out to him, and I was like, "Dude, so happy for you."
Yeah.
Because I really am. I'm very happy for him. I'm really happy to see all those athletes out there. I mean, what Riley did was amazing.
Incredible.
Like, that was incredible. And that's what's so cool to see, like, not only on the men's side, but on the women's side. It's just getting to a new level.
Yeah, that field was it was stupid. Like 30 minutes. Like, holy
Yeah.
cow.
And I think, like, this weekend will be fun, too. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little nervous this weekend because, like, I'm racing Robbie Simpson
Because
in the
Dylan
50K.
Bowman's in the field?
Yeah. That's right. No,
We're
no.
giving you an hour handicap, is that right?
In our prediction show, we're going to guess how far back I am of you from the finish line. You got to spot me 45 minutes, okay?
No, I kind of feel like I don't know if you watched Grant Fisher and Cole Hawker race last weekend. I kind of feel like Grant Fisher in this. Grant Fisher had an interview before, and he said, "I'm a bit nervous to race Cole Hawker because he's like, Grant's known as a 5K, 10K guy. I feel like I'm more of a 100K, 100-mile guy now, and I'm dropping down to race a 50K specialist, like one of the best 50K runners ever."
Yeah.
Like, Robbie is an absolute legend over
Beast,
that distance. Podium at OCC, countless podiums at Sierra now. But, like, I'm really excited for the fight and the challenge because he's going to make me better.
Totally.
Like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight hard and I'm going to do everything that I can, and we'll see what happens. And I think me and Robbie are going to run really fast and have a good day. And that's what excites me about this weekend.
I love it, man.
You're toast, Dylan.
Yeah. As we say here at Freetrail, you never bet against Hayden Hawks, bro. Thank you for coming in studio.
Yeah.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, guys.
Look over your shoulder in those final miles because I might be kicking you
You're
down,
going to
bro.
be right there, dude. You're going to be right there.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.